Hey guys, it's me. Happy Friday. So excited to be joining you guys for coffee today. And even more exciting, I have a co-host this week. I'm super excited to have Maggie from Gussie Sews co-hosting with me this week. If you guys haven't checked out her blog, please do. She's totally awesome and has become one of my closest friends in the last few months. This week, we decided to go with a fun theme, and we are talking about 3 things that your now self would tell your then self. So, I kind of racked my brain quite a bit to figure out my 3 things, and I feel like since we came up with this idea, my 3 things have changed several times. So I'm going to start talking and they may change again, but hopefully not. So anyways, if I had to go back and tell myself, self from the past, I have some advice for you. This is what I would say. I would first tell you this story, because this is kind of a fun story about how Maggie and I actually met. We met at Snap Conference in April of this year, and we had known each other. We have a lot of mutual friends, but it was the first time we actually met in person. And I had was introduced to her. We were in a conversation with a group of people. Well, fast forward about an hour and a half, and I was at Queen Bee Market helping with teardown, and I went to the trash can to throw something away, and as I was walking back, I was going to be walking by her booth, and I noticed she'd been having a rough day, and I felt like God say to me, Alyssa, you need to go pray for her. And I'm telling you guys, like, that is something that I would always tell myself daily. You need to be more like that. You need to do things like that. But a lot of times when God starts telling me you need to go pray for that person, or listen, now's the time, just do it, go with it, pray for that person, I'm usually like, I spend so much time arguing with God about not wanting to do it, just in fear of looking crazy, or just fear in general, that the moment passes. You know that moment that I'm talking about. Well, in this case, I was walking by Maggie, and I just really felt like God said, you need to pray for her, and I was like, kind of arguing with him as I was getting close to walking by her, and she had her back turned to me, and I was like, this is the perfect moment. I can just walk right by her, not say anything. I don't need to look like a crazy person or whatever, but I just couldn't get myself to walk by. And as I was going to, because, I'm a strong personality, stubborn, unlike many of you, I'm sure, she turned around. And so then I kind of had no choice, because, I was walking by her, and at this point I was probably making some kind of weird, crazy face, but I just stopped, and I said to her, I just really feel like I'm supposed to pray for you. And she said, I would love that. So I gave her a hug, and I started praying for her, and I started praying all these crazy things, like all these awesome things, but all these things that I could have never possibly known about her, and things that were going on and that she was struggling with, or blessings or confirmations. And as I was praying, all I could think about is, she must just think I'm nuts, because these aren't even things, if I was a blog stalker, that I would know about her. So I started praying all of these things for her, and at the end of that time, I felt like God was able to not only speak to her about some things that she needed confirmation for, but he also spoke to me in a really big way, and really was talking to me about that fear, that fear of like not wanting people to think I'm strange, which who cares, even if people do think I'm strange. Like, you would think that my love for God would like outweigh that fear, but I think oftentimes we have a habit of letting that fear kind of overtake us. So I think what I would tell myself now to myself then, and and probably I would need to daily tell myself this, is that God really brings those moments into our life for a reason, and there's a reason why we need to act on them, is so that we can really be Jesus with skin on to someone else. And that's what I need to remember as being really the most important thing. And if I let fear overtake me instead of doing those things, then I'm missing out on what God can do through me in someone else's life, and what God can do to bless me through the entire thing as well. And so that would be one thing. I know that was kind of winded. A second thing would be, that, well, today I'm kind of wishing that I hadn't cut my hair. I'm actually been kind of wishing that for the last couple days. Sorry, honey. It's not that I don't love it every day. Most days I do love it, but there are some days like today where I miss my long locks. So maybe today in this moment, my now self would tell my then self not to chop it. And then what else? I think the biggest thing that I would tell myself is to stop sweating the small stuff. I feel like trying to balance the new quote-unquote life I have with trying to juggle pollinate in with everything else that I was already doing as a mom, and just trying to be a good mom. And, you know, we're trying to make good decisions for Caitlin with preschool and all these things that I find that the stress just kind of builds up. And so, like, any little thing, like somebody could look at me sideways and I will lose it. And I could cry or whatever. But I just feel like I just need to stop sweating the small stuff and, like, enjoy life and look at the joy in it. So one of the things that I've been doing is listening to worship music on a daily basis. In the car, at home, and I have found that it has helped me detox and just really keep my focus on God and who He is and how He's interweaved into everything that I'm doing. And I found that on days when I don't do that, I end up sweating the small stuff. So anyways, if you're looking for some great worship music this season, I know everybody's listening to Christmas music. I am still listening to worship music for the most part, but Matt Redman's awesome. And then Rock Harbor Church in California just put out a great new album, worship album. So check that one out too. So anyways, I hope that you will take a minute and go and say hi to Maggie and join her for some coffee today. Don't mind my crazy hair that I have absolutely no control over today. And I love you guys, and I will see you for coffee next week. Mwah. Peace.